boy, this is this is gonna be fun. This is actually gonna be fun. Hello, it is I, Dharma, also known as the Entertainer, also known as your dearest host here for Horns and Halos. So, today I wanted to do some commentary while, having some speed painting going on here. So, if you didn't know, I am a digital artist. I work with ProCreate a lot, and it's really fun. And so I decided to go back to the basics and just do a speed paint. Something simple. But anyways, so with that out of the way, I wanted to talk about what we're really here for, and what is probably indicated in the thumbnail. Now, I have recently started this YouTube channel, as you'll probably be able to see by the date and whatnot. But in this new YouTube channel of mine, I kind of committed to an art style. But coming back to it many weeks later, there was a lot going on. I had to work on some stuff with my business, and we went on vacation and all that other stuff, so I haven't gotten around to posting again. But with all that going on, I decided to rework my style a little bit. Now, the style that you saw in the intro video, that is what I call my bean style. But now I'm working on my little bean style. I'm not sure if that's what I'm going to be calling it from now on, but that's what I'm calling it right now. Little bean. I love it. And the only reason why they're called little beans is because they don't have legs. They just have feet. Little toe beans. But yeah, so that's basically the reason behind that. And aside from that, and aside from the speed paints here of, first off, this is the new character reference sheet. I believe the next speed paint you're gonna see is of the new logo, because I didn't like the old one. I'm keeping everything else, but I didn't like the old logo. And then the last thing is the thumbnail of the video, because I ran out of ideas. Shh, don't tell anyone. But anyways, so on to the main subject already, Dharma. Okay, audience, you don't have to be so rude. But anyways, so today I wanted to talk about something that I had talked about in my intro video as a part of that giant skit. And one of those things was, that I am pansexual, or at least I was. Because today I am here to educate you on questioning. So there's this thing in the Pride community called questioning. It's something that you often see in things like roleplay servers in Roblox or hangout areas or things like that, where you can have the title of questioning. Now, what that means, typically from my understanding, is you're either questioning your own gender, or you're questioning, how do I put this? Words are hard. But you're either questioning your gender, or you're questioning your romance, essentially. I can't think of the word. But anyways, with that out of the way, you're basically, you're questioning either one of those things. Now, I've got my gender down, at least for the moment. Of course, all of this kind of stuff can change at any time, and if you're someone who's questioning as well, then good luck to you. I hope it all turns out well, and I hope that you find the pronouns and or the words that describe yourself in the way that you want them to, and I'm here to support you all the way. But with that aside, I've recently been questioning myself, because even when the making of that video, I was questioning, my sexual identity. And so, it came up again when I was recreating my little avatar thing, my little bean avatar. And the reason why is because I like to often include when I'm drawing, like either little pins or bows, or sometimes multicolored like flowers or things like that have the colors of a flag on it. Like, for example, for this channel, the sweatshirt that I represent myself in, I am committed to having a flag on it, whether it be a pan flag or just the generic rainbow flag or whatever it is. But I'm committed to having that on there so that I can be proud of, my sexuality. And like I said, this is something that can change over time. Just because something fits you now doesn't mean it'll necessarily fit you later, and that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly okay. And I've come to terms with it. And I want to tell you all a little story of how I got here. So basically, a few years ago, I really started getting in, learning about gay and bisexual and pansexual and all of these different terms that had been, that I hadn't learned about yet. I had never heard of them. And so what ended up happening, as it always did with all the communities I get into, I started looking up art, comics and drawings and little skits and sketches that people, bisexual or gay or whatever, whatever kind of people would make of their experience and some relatable issues that were going on within the community. And as I started sucking up all this information, I slowly began to realize why all of my boy crushes were fake. Because the thing is throughout my life, I thought that I need to have a boy crush at all times. Like all of my friends that were dudes, like I had a crush on them at least once, and I had absolutely no romantic interest in them whatsoever. And the only reason why they were my quote-unquote crush was simply because I thought I needed to have one at all times. I've realized now that that's an unhealthy mindset. And after realizing, I resonate with a lot of these things, when I was looking up art in the community, I realized, well, I think I'm starting to understand. I am indeed not a straight person. And so with that, I learned about the term bisexual, which is a term that I wore for a little while until I actually decided to look up what it truly meant. And something that I want to tell you all that I have personally learned is that a lot of these words, bisexual, pansexual, omnisexual, asexual, all of these different words, oftentimes they have different meanings between people, but usually they have a general meaning that most, if not everyone, kind of accepts them to be. So you may hear little differences and little variations between people's meanings of certain pride words. But anyway, so with that little bit of education aside, after I learned what bisexual meant, I realized, that doesn't really fit me very well. So then I looked up basically the definition of pansexual, which means that you can be in love with anybody regardless of gender. You're quote-unquote gender blind, which means gender doesn't factor in at all when it comes to your love. And that's kind of what I wore for a while. I've worn it proudly. But with this new character illustration and things like that, I've begun to reconsider what term exactly I'm under. And I've realized that I'm a little more complicated than I thought I was. Because the thing is I liked pansexual because it was uncomplicated. And, it was simple. Just call me Pan. Pan Love, in fact, was my Roblox name, and I need to change it now. But now I've realized that I'm something a little bit different than that. I am what is called demi-omnisexual, and I'm still struggling to pronounce it. But basically, you take demisexual, which is when you're between sexual and asexual, and It basically means that you need to have a relationship with someone before you can start having a romantic attraction with them. And it also combines omnisexual, which means that you can fall in love with, which is basically pansexual, but instead of being able to fall in love with anyone no matter what their gender is, and being completely gender blind, which means, you don't see their gender at all. And when it comes to omnisexual, it's basically pansexual, but you do see that person's gender. It doesn't matter very much what their gender is to you, but you do recognize that they are a they, or she is a she, or he is a he. You do recognize their gender, whereas pansexual, at least by my meaning, means that you're completely blind to it. Like, it doesn't matter at all to you. Whereas I think I do see gender a little bit, but I don't think that would tear down my attraction at all. And so, with those two beautiful flags combined together, we get demi-omnisexual. And I believe that's what I am, at least for the moment, anyway. You'll probably know when that's no longer the case the second that I changed the flag on my sweatshirt. But, yeah, and I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with this. And while I personally decided to look into this so that I can understand better, myself and how I feel romantically about other people, that doesn't necessarily mean that I can no longer wave the flag of pansexual. Like I said, different words in the pride community, especially nowadays, often overlap. For example, omnisexual and pansexual overlap simply because while someone may wave the flag of omnisexual, that doesn't necessarily mean that they see other people's gender. They could still be gender blind. And pansexual tends to overlap with bisexual because people nowadays, when they talk about being bisexual, they're not only talking about liking both boys and girls, but they've also incorporated they and them, people who go by they and them, people who are, what's the word I'm looking for? Non-binary. People who are non-binary. They've started incorporating that as well into it. And so that starts to overlap with pansexual. And so while these words aren't necessarily interchangeable, because like I said, they have a base meaning that a lot of people understand and know, but at the same time, that doesn't mean they don't overlap either. And go ahead and pick whichever one is most comfortable for you. I'm not going to judge you for any of this. Whatever flag you would like to wave, whatever word you'd like to go under, I am perfectly fine with that. And I completely and utterly respect that. Whatever feels most comfortable to you. I really just wanted to know and better understand myself by understanding, what I'm under. I think knowing what I am helps me out in understanding myself better. And I'm happy with being demi-omnisexual. And I may still use the term pansexual from time to time. But I think for now, I'm just going to be happy with myself, and I'm going to be happy with the flag that I wave, no matter what colors or what stripes or what shapes it has on it. I'm going to be happy with whatever I wave, even if it's just the rainbow, because this should be a free world where we can love ourselves and love other people the way that we want to. And yeah, I think this is all a beautiful thing. So, anyways, thank you all again for listening to my little rant about finding myself. And like I said before, the reason why the character illustration was relevant, because that's what got me digging back into, figuring out what my sexuality and all that stuff is. Thank you all for watching today's video. If you would like to support me, then go ahead and go into the description down below. I believe it is the first link down below where you can get 21 free comic templates from my website for all your comic book drawing needs. You can go ahead and enter in your email at www.theartninjas.com/free comic templates. All you have to do is enter in your email and it will send it to you instantly via the email you put in. And if you would also like to hear some of my more professional takes on writing and digital artistry, go ahead and check out the second link in the description down below, where you can go check out my podcast, Write What You Want to Read, Draw What You Want to See, at anchor.fm. So, anyways, I will talk to you all later, and goodbye.